It works? It's not working. It's working? Where were you? Miss Minty. How's it? Good? No, it's not, it's working? It's me, wait, no, it's me. 1 minute. I'm in control. 1 minute. How's that? Good? Everybody is? Okay. Yeah, but the big chizik and the big akdama, Mitzvah, and everybody comes back. Maybe one word. No, but the real stuff, like, wait till everybody comes back for the real chizik. But what? Look, some people are stuck in the airport, so one word. But mamish one word, because we gotta start, as they say, and. Because especially if anybody comes late, so then for sure those guys need chizik. The guys that actually came on time, so they need less chizik probably. Right? But I was zeicha on Ben Azmanim. Not so many people were, but I was zeicha to go into Rav Gershon Edelstein, the Rosh Yeshiva Panovich. It was actually the first time in my life, and not so many people were zeicha to get in because he's very careful and he's very mad. And no, it's mamish. It's very hard to get in. You know what I'm talking about? It's very hard. And so I have what I hopefully everyone will come back and then we'll talk. But he said such a one thing he said to me, and one thing that the Mitzvah Shem I'll talk about. But then one thing he said, there were about 3-4 people there, and he said such a murdik of art. It's his rayas. He has tremendous rayas to the things he says. Everything he says is so strong and so ironclad. And so he said like this. He said that bring a raya that somebody that learns Torah, not only is the person that learns Torah become Kaddish al Yidei the Torah. I mean, everybody understands that when you learn Torah, it generates a Kedusha. But how do you know that even his whole entire Metzias, everything about him becomes Kedusha? Let's say his house becomes Kedusha, his food becomes Kedusha, his everything becomes Kedusha. How do you know? What's the raya? Let me just make sure everyone's here. Yeah, there. What's the raya? Everything becomes Kedusha. What's the raya? What is that, a Snapple? What's the raya that your Snapple becomes Kedusha, right? What's the you're with the computer over there, right? What's the raya the computer becomes Kedusha? No? It's a good kasha, right? So maybe not. Maybe it doesn't become Kedusha. So he said like this. He said, and then no b'chlal, anybody who's zeicha to learn Torah, b'frat in Eretz Yisrael, and befrat in the Kallus, it's the spitz makim of kedusha. So it has to generate a kedusha for his entire house and his entire family and everything. So what's the raya that you're going to learn Torah, and on the day you're learning Torah, it's going to generate kedusha in your houses and your entire. It's a good kasha. So he had a raya. What was the raya? Raya's like this. It's a famous Gemara that everybody knows about. The Gemara says that Rabbi Yonasan ben Uziel, what was the Knacker of Rabbi Yonasan ben Uziel? He was so big. He was the biggest of Mamish, the biggest of the Talmidim of Hillel. He was the biggest. What would happen when Rabbi Yonasan ben Uziel would learn Torah? He would be sitting. The birds would be on some barbecue, right? A bird would be flying over, and we have no idea how many birds were murdered at Yudei Diskoilo. We don't even know. But he knew, and he would be learning. All of a sudden, you hear and that's it. Then you knew he was burnt to death. That chicken that flew over Rabbi Yonasan ben Uziel's head, dead. Okay, so what's the pshat? How did he die? How did the chicken die? So he said the pshat is like this: the Torah, when a person learns Torah, especially on that level, so it generates kedusha. And he brought rayas from the Navi that kedusha expresses itself in fire, which you see all the time, right? The malachim or rishbei eish, and there's a kedusha, the eish that permeates. It comes from kedusha. It comes from Torah. That's what the eish is. The more you're kaddish al yedei Torah, so then the more that eish is I guess tangible and real and b'metzias, etc. So Mela, what happened? He was so much kedusha that the fire went everywhere and it was burning down the schnitzels, all the different chicken loch that flew over his head. They were all being murdered from the fire and the kedusha that came out of him, right? And where else do you see that? But by Elisha ben Avuya, the Taisus brings down in Chagiga, very famous. Taisus brings down that what happened to Elisha ben Avuya was so big. He said, yeah, but he started out already bad. The Gemara already tells you the story. He started out, there was a bris, and at his bris, at the Suda, was sitting there, the biggest of the Tanoim, maybe Rabbi Shua, I think it was, and the biggest of the Tanoim, and they were sitting there and talking and learning. And all of a sudden, a fire went around the house of Avuya. Avuya invited all the Gedolim to his son's bris, and the fire went around the house, and the place was about to go up in flames. So Avuya came. He said, "What are you doing? You're trying to burn down my house. What are you doing? You have to leave." So Avuya said, they told Avuya, "No, we're learning Torah. We're learning Torah. We're not trying to burn down your house. You have nothing to worry about. It's just the Aish of Torah." And then everyone knows the end of the story. He said, "Okay, so then I want my son to learn Torah, and it's some level of Lay Lishma." But you see that when a person learns Torah, the most extreme form of Torah, Kedusha, it expresses itself in fire. It expresses itself in fire, and that fire can actually become tangible. So he has to catch like this. How come Yonasan ben Uziel, his clothing didn't burn? Right? How come Taka didn't wind up burning down the house? How come the coffee, Yonasan ben Uziel, Mustameh had a coffee. I mean, even Rav Aaron Leib had a coffee. This right, 3 times they say in his life, I think. Right? So how come the coffee didn't get burnt in the fire? Right? No, Mamish, good catch. How come when Yonasan ben Uziel came home, how come we didn't hear that Mrs. Uziel, she burnt to death in a fire? What's the shot? It was a shtick tire. The poor chicken had to die, right? Not only that, Stamakash I had. Who says Yonasan ben Uziel? Who says he didn't have his own chickens and things like that? It says the chicken that flew over, the bird that flew over his head died, right? But his own stuff, we don't see anywhere that Yonasan ben Uziel, like Mamish, everywhere he walked, burn, fire, burn. You see like fire trucks everywhere. The fire truck would burn. Right? Everything would burn. So he said, Vais Techais, that the Kedusha that is generated from the person that learns Torah permeates also to the things that are needed by the tzaddik. And the Kedusha rests on it also. So that fire doesn't burn. It only burns things that are not shaykh. I guess the bird were hefker. I don't know. I guess they, but you see, Mamash Merdik Gezach, that means the clothing of Yonasan ben Uziel, they were Kedusha because he learned Torah. So since he learned Torah with Azefil Kedusha, the clothing became Kedusha, everything became Kedusha. So it's not going to burn, fire can't burn from fire. It's not Yonasan ben Uziel himself didn't burn. So Mela, that was his raya. So Mela, he said, the person that learns Torah has to create the reality that when he goes into his house, it doesn't just remain in the base medrash. Everything about him becomes a different person, especially Befrat when he learns halacha. And Bez Hashai, well, it's more chizik, I'll say it a different time. I should tell you one more story he said. One more. I remember this one more story. No, Stam, what we're doing over here, it's Kedusha for us, and also what it does for Klal Yisrael. Right? What it does for Klal Yisrael, it's unbelievable. We're zeicha to come back now in a much more, I guess, aggressive fashion. We'll be able to be here together, Bez Hashem, and we don't have any of the hagbalas and the limitations. And so Mistama, it's going to be much better for Klal Yisrael. So he said, Mamash Amardik is Peldik Maisa, like the Panovich Rosh Hashiva, and he's telling a story about the Baba Sali. Mamash Peldik Maisa. Mamash, he said a story there that, and you have to know because you have to realize the achrayus of what it is to learn Torah and to be zeicha to learn Torah in Yerushalayim and to come back and this man starting and everything. It's now we can appreciate it because it wasn't always so normal. It wasn't always such a given. So he said over that the people from the IDF, from the army, they used to go to the Baba Sali and they used to tell him like their plans and things like that. And they would ask for a bracha. And the Baba Sali would always ask them like, when are you doing this invasion? Or when are you doing this, they weren't going bowling over there. When are you doing this thing? And when are you doing that thing? So they would tell the Baba Sali. So let's say every time the Baba Sali would tell them, okay, no, that time is not good, or this time is good. So they all thought that Mistama, because Taka, it must be he does have Ruach HaKodesh. I mean, he was able to see, what color underwear you're wearing with the Baba Sali, right? The Baba Sali knew everything. Right? So the Baba Sali would tell them, this time is good and that time is good. They figured the Baba Sali was able to see. You blow them up now, it's going to work. You blow them up then, it's not going to work. Whatever. Kitzer. So one time somebody actually had the chutzpah and asked the Baba Sali, what's the pshat? How do you know which times that they should invade and not invade? So he said, watch me the next time they come. So the next time they came, he said, no, when are you going in? So they told him 2:00. So Baba Sali said, no, that's no good. You can't go in at 2:00. So they said, okay, 4:00. So Baba Sali said, okay, that's good. Okay. Boom. So he asked, no, what's the difference? He said, because it's very simple. 2:00 in the afternoon is Ben Astarim. It's Ben Astarim. There's less Torah learning in Eretz Yisrael. If there's less Torah learning in Eretz Yisrael, they don't have the schus of Torah. So it's very simple. 4:00 already, Kallus is already giving shir in the second Seder Koilo. He didn't say that, but it also probably wasn't alive then. But there was probably a Kallus before Kallus, right? There was somebody before me also that gave shir. So 4:00 in the afternoon, that's a good time to go in. It's not such a grace as that. But they would come to him and they would say, we're going in at 2 a.m. He would say, no, Thursday night, maybe. There's a lot of guys learning on Thursday night, 2:00 in the morning. But if it's a Tuesday night, avada not. What are you mad? It's not, you don't have the schus of Torah. So you think like the Baba Sali, it all went Ruach HaKodesh. No, avada. The Baba Sali knew that everything is schus of Torah. It's a schus of Torah, protects Klal Yisrael. So it protects Klal Yisrael. So Mitzvah Hashem. I will be mechazik us a different time, but now we have to start. We have to start because, you didn't come for just stories of chizik and Torah. You came to actually learn. You came to actually learn. That's l'chayra. Now, l'maisa, the schedule this month is that Mitzvah Hashem, we're going to learn first the sugya of clapping and dancing on Shabbos, which is it's very geschmack sugya. That's just for the first week in Mitzvah Hashem. And then Mitzvah Hashem, we're going to the big sugyas, the baina and oil and seiser, those are the big sugyas. And the first week I always like to do anyways a small sugya until the oil comes back. The first day, I still have some shilas from last month. I'm looking around, it's not as many new faces. Everybody here learned muksa, I see. Some not. I'll try to make it user-friendly even if you didn't learn muksa. But you anyways, Mustama, you know what muksa is, right? You heard something about muksa or whatever, right? And so I have a few shilas of muksa, and then Mitzvah Hashem will start with the new sugi of clapping and dancing. Also, I want the item to get with the Marmakaimis as usual, Bez Hashem. But I did have a few shilas on Ben Asmanim. I did have a few shilas. So, like for example, nothing in order over here, but just so somebody I'm mechabed the very chashuviyah to speak in the shul. On this year there were 2 Shabbos agadol, so I was able to speak one Shabbos, and then a different Shabbos, a very chashuv Rav came to speak. Because you can have 2 Shabbos agadol drushes, and so he spoke on the week before. That was, let's say, Zion, I think, right? So I spoke on Yudalid, he spoke on Zion. So he got up in the shul. He said like this. He said, "What should you do? You have all this chametz and everything. What are you supposed to do with it? It's and sometimes you're going to flush it down the toilet, and then all the toilets are going to be all filled with who knows what. It's going to be terrible. It's a 3-day yontif, 2-day yontif. It's not terrible. So you missed me, no? You missed me. Okay. And everybody missed me. Right? I missed all of you guys. Yeah. Okay. So he said, you're going to have all these blockages in the toilet. What are you going to do? Whatever. So he said like this. He said, what you do is you take bleach, whatever, in Israel they call it economica. Right? Why it has to do with this, the economic system. I have no, maybe it's very related. But anyways, you take economica, you take bleach, you pour it on this poor ragala, this poor pita, whatever, and then it's already not roy l'achilas kelev. There's no dogs that are eating this, and that's before this man achilas iser, and then you can get rid of it. I don't know what to do. He's one of the major rabbanim in Ramat Shlema. But Mamish, I have 2 big problems with this. I said the second I say this, my oilam, they're not going to stand for this. Right? My oilam isn't going to stand for this. What are the 2 problems that I had with this? What's my first problem? I want to know. Wait. No, what's my first problem? What? What's my first problem? No. What's my what? That's right. Thank you, David. My first problem was l'chayra. Why isn't this bittul kli me'echanai? You're taking something that was movable and making it unmovable. So what are you going to say? I'm trying to be melamed chos. So first of all, wait, let's go slowly. First of all, it's not a kli, right? But we learned that bittul kli mechana has nothing to do with kalim. We saw in Siman Shin Yud Gimel. Wait, slow. Shartzin, I think it was Lamed Zayin, right? Shartzin, where was it? Shin Yud Gimel. I mean, we're going to learn it this man when we learn Bainim Yetz Hashem. But when I ask if you guys missed me, I meant the guys on TV also. Yeah. Okay. In Shartzi and Lamadayin, he says maybe it's like shaykh bittul kli mechana if there's no shame kli lanias daiti davar chodeshu leini hero gazru iser shalay levato kli light plug va'asru kol davar shayam mutter mitchila letaltal v'hu goyrim bepulasay shay aser letaltal. They answered anything that you were able to move, and now you made it that you're not able to move. So this piece of bread, were you able to move it? Yes. And now you're going to be able to move it? No. So I was thinking like some weird shot that maybe, it's a chashuv yid, so you have to think something. Maybe like, this thing is about to become nesar anyways, and she's about to become muksa anyways, right? So it's a bittul shah. I don't even know if that's called bittul shah. I don't know what that is. I was trying to think, is that called bittul shah? They're very good. I believe in Mustad. Is that called bittul shah? Being atlet oilam is it that every single time I do it, it's really bittul shah because Shabbos is going to end, right? So here, it becomes. I don't know. I didn't think that's called bittul shah. I thought that's, you're putting, no, well, so you can ask, so what's the difference between putting it in the toilet? I was thinking that also, when you put it into the toilet. So that bothers me a mashu less, because there, you have to understand, we're not saying that, now listen, Rabbi Spira, it's been a long time, and bear with this, and don't cause trouble, and but it's not the pshat that it didn't become not roy lachilas kelev immediately. It doesn't become not roy lachilas kelev immediately, right? You put it into the toilet, it's still roy for the kids. The dogs would love this stuff. I'm not saying that even people would eat it, right? But the dogs, you can't say it's necessarily mooks at that point. And then eventually, once you flush and whatever, and it goes down, and maybe eventually it disintegrates or whatever. I don't know if that becomes not roy lachilas kelev. I'm not sure. We saw, klavim, they eat soya. We spoke a lot of things, no? Chamshi, yeah, what are you smiling about? Yeah, okay. No, what do you think? I think the dogs would eat the stuff. What? No, so I'm saying, so flushing it, at what point did I make it not roy lechilas kelev? At what point did I make it not roy lechilas kelev? What? So what? Oh, there's a very big difference. When I take a tissue and I use it for what it's, no, excuse me. I reserve the right to throw people out of the koil, right? No. Right? No, see, I'm the Rosh Koil this month. I see him looking. Yeah, yeah. Shalom. But it's very different. When I have a tissue, and the reason why the Eibishter Bashaf in a tissue, he made the tissue in order to use and to blow your nose. He didn't make food in order to destroy food. It's something you have to do in order not to be over on chametz. But that's not the shemesh of the chefts of the food. It's not fair. What? We don't necessarily used up. It's not a raya. You have no case. We have no case that it's a raya that the destruction of the item when the item is in front of my face, right? We have no raya to the side that's not an isra betel kli mechana. We don't have a case. Where do we have a case? I'm sorry. Breaking the toothpick. Not to use it more. Just to stop breaking. I mean, we said by soiser kli, the nidin of the paiskim was your over on soiser mustaki. But again, even every case, you never have a raya from any case. You never. The truth is, maybe there it's also. I don't know. I mean, that's not a raya. That's not a gemara. You don't have a case, any case in Shas or in the paiskim, I'm saying, that ever spoke about, let's say the mustaki. When you rip open a bag, you're allowed to destroy a bag on Shabbos in order to get the food. Okay. Now the bag becomes muksa, right? If you destroy the bag, so then the pieces you're not allowed to move unless it's a graf shalrei or whatever. Okay, but you bet him it becomes muksa. Right? How do you do that? But again, I don't know if that would be a raya because that's again, like the Olam was saying, that's the shemesh of it, of enabling the removal of the food. And Mamela, it requires me to destroy it in order to get to the food. Here, it's a destruction for a halachic reason. It's not a tachlis that's getting somewhere. I don't know if we have a raya. I don't know. Like that. This is the nidin. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe this Rav holds that it's not called b'tekli mechanai. If you're just being soiser the kli legamre and destroying it and making it totally unusable. I don't know. What? The question is, if in any of those cases we had a raya that again we might have added that svara, but I don't know if any of the cases you had just that svara. That's the question. Let's see. We have it over here. Let's see. What do we have here? Where would it be? What page? Help me out here. That what? That what? Say again? But do you have it by itself? What page is it? No, the evidence is I didn't think about it more. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to the next Shabbos get up and say not like him. He's the Rav and Ramat Shlomo. It's a very chashav yid, So I didn't want to come and give my entire Shabbos a gadol drush against him. It was very, what? So we have a good relationship. I'd like to keep it that way. Lamed Vav. Wait, which ice? Kavches? The Shoiver Kli Shari. וביטל כלי רק איך שמונה בשבש שימוש של כלי שעדיין יש לה חיים עתידים. היינו יודע יש לה הכן. מותר לשימוש בשבש שימוש. על זה יש ביטל כלי. אבל ליסטר לעולם, what was the raya for mustiki? Okay, maybe. Bitul kli mechana is when you have a kli that's still usable. Okay, that'll be a limitzchos. Okay, so that problem, maybe, if this is what we said last month, good, look, this is why I came to discuss my issues today, right? What? No, they're saying like this. They're saying that last month we said a svara, that, you find by a mustiki, that when you rip a bag, you're allowed to destroy a bag on Shabbos. Why are you allowed to destroy the bag? The bag now becomes muksa. You have, how it is. You have a bag of milk and you have to stab her until the milk is bleeding out of her and does. Well, why are you allowed to do that? Because it's getting the food and whatever, and it's not called kareya, whatever. Whatever the heter is, you have some kind of a heter. Okay, but now the maisa, the bag is muksa. The bag is totally unusable. So you made the bag totally unusable. Now the maisa, should I be a bit aggressive? Should I be a bit aggressive? I'm not sure if I want to be a bit aggressive. But, so they're saying it's the same thing. So you see, the isser of bitul kli mechanoi is only an item that could have been a kli, and you took away its usage of being a kli, and you made it that now it's not going to be able to be used as a kli until after Shabbos. Like a kedoima, you put something down and now it can't move because moksa. So you took away the usage, you remayit the usage, but there's no isser to take a kli and make it ois kli. That's there's no such thing, and the raya is because when the place can discuss Saiser Kli, no one says it's Bitul Kli Meichane, something like that, right? But should I be a bit aggressive? I'll be a bit aggressive. It's not muchach, right? The mashal. If you ask the Chasnei Nish, what's the reason why you're allowed to rip a bag on Shabbos and get the contents? He'll tell you because you're not really ripping. You're not really ripping. What are you doing? You're just getting the food. That means that if you ask the Chazon Ish, why am I allowed to rip a bag? He'll tell you because the ripping is happening agav. That means it's mattering even Korea. It's mattering even the Issa Derais of Korea because you're not really ripping a bag. What you're doing is that you're getting milk and the bag is ripped b'meila. So the Chazon Ish had this Torah sasyachsas because we spoke about this many times that it's not called that we don't see you as doing this pu'ul. I guess it's a melechas machshevet tikasvar or something like that. But he learns that you're allowed to destroy the bag because it's just getting the food. And the bag gets ripped b'meila. Rabbi said, if the bag gets ripped b'meila and I could matter an issa derais of Korea, so then I could also matter bitul kli mechana with that tzvar, right? The bitul kli mechana happened b'meila. You didn't do a bitul ma'vatul kli mechana. You have no raya anywhere in Shas or Paiskim of where somebody does something and I know the tzvar exists. That's why I'm being mechabed the tzvar. But you don't have a raya that tzvar it stands on its own. That's number one. Okay. Another problem I had. Okay, the reason this Rav was saying it is because this Rav held that to go and take the chametz and to take it and throw it outside into the, by the garbage, by the green garbages or by those, whatever, the underground, the whole matzah over there. So he held that's a problem because it's owned by Jews and this, the Chalal didn't understand that. I mean, it's kulei hefker and it's a ma'aseh hefker. The Balatanya says mefurish and Siman Taf Mem Hey in Tifalef that if I take something, I take it out of my rishus before this manavis, or I put it into a place where it's hefker, and even if I walk by it all day long and I see it and it waves at me and smiles and so it doesn't matter. That's not a problem. So we were starting from different places. I didn't have a problem with Chalal putting it over there and throwing it inside the garbage, and he did for some reason which I don't fully understand. But anyways, but there's another problem. Is okay, so now what? Okay, so you poured the economica, you have the bleach, you poured it onto this chametz, and now what? How are you going to get out of the house? Or you just leaving it there? I mean, nobody's taking bleach, pouring it on a piece of bread and leaving it in the house, right? It's a little bit, it's just like nisht, right? Elamai, so now we have to get involved in moving muksa, right? Is it a graf sharei? So, what is a graf sharei? Graf sharei is somebody called me on Erev Shabbos and he was talking to me about a murdered, he was hoping and praying that he would be zeicha to kill a certain mouse on Shabbos. So he put out a trap. He said, what am I going to do? If on Shabbos, we actually are matzliach and we catch it, so he wanted to know, am I going to be allowed to pick it up and take it and throw it into the garbage and whatever? That's what he asked me, right? Sorry? That's what he asked me. What? No, I'll say they were coming through this month. But no, it's muksa. I told him it's probably a grashal ray, right? It's just, it's probably pretty gefährlich. Is it? I mean, What? It is like sitting there. He told me afterward. What? It's alive. It's on those, what? I think it's not geschmack. Oh, I'll tell him to bring it to you. Yeah, we dealt with a lot of people. We discussed this. I don't think it's very cool. I don't think so. Under the bed. Right. So here he told me, he put a trap under the bed, under there. So I tried it on the guy. I said to him, please, I wanted to see like what's a normal human being's reaction. I said like, what's the big deal if it's under, I came out, there I was able to get it out without laughing. I said, what's the big deal if it's under the bed? I'll tell you what he answered, it's even funny. But I told him, well, if it's under the bed and you catch it and whatever, so like, is it such a big deal? So he said to me, of Kallus, is a kasha, right? Now he asked me, how am I even going to know, right? How am I going to know? There's a good kasha. He's not looking the whole time. That's his kasha, right? If the one under the bed. So I said, so he said to me, so what? Very good. Yeah. And in Hebrew, who knows how to say squeaks in Hebrew? I don't still. He said some word and I didn't understand it. And I said, because I didn't know what he's talking about, right? I didn't know. I thought he had like a gorilla under the bed. I know what he's talking about. And then Achavi means because it goes, at the mazeh, he starts going, squeak, squeak, like that. He said it's going to start squeaking. So he said, so that's how I know. So he says, no. The squeaking. We never got the squeaking last month. No, that's why it's so important to do chazar. Imagine if I would have said the shir with the knowledge of squeaking, we would have brought in props and everything. No? Anyways, no, you get my point. So that's a graf shalrei. That's a graf shalrei. I don't know if a piece of bread that is has economical on it, has bleach on it, what's fasqueaked about that? What? No. A dog not eating, a dog also won't eat my shoe. My shoe is not a graf shalrei. Right? What? Pesach doesn't shove a graf shalrei. Like a graf shalrei. Well, okay, I'm just saying. It just means just realize telling a whole tzibur to take all the bread. And just think about this for a minute. We're talking in the world of actually doing things. We're not talking about like in the base measure. We're actually going to do this. You tell your tzibur to go and take the bread, put it on a merpesa, pour bleach on it, and just look at it for the next 2 days. It's like, I don't know. Nobody wants that in their house. I don't know. Maybe that's your graf shalrei you're talking about. What? Oh, Elamai. So I asked afterward the people in the shul, they were coming to me, they were asking me what I think about this. I said, what are you going to do? So they said, no. So we'll take it. So they said, we'll take it to the garbage. I said, it's muksa. Your body can't take it to garbage. It's unedible. Can't take it to garbage. So they said, no, I'm safe, but we'll do it with tiltul minatzad. We'll take it with a. So one guy said, we'll take it with a bag. That's tiltul minatzad. You put it, knock it into the bag and bring it. What is that? That's not tiltul minatzad. The bag becomes a basis which is holding the muksa even on Shabbos, and you're carrying muksa. No way. Elamai, what? You're going to take it? Let's say somebody who told me he lives on the ground floor, so he'll take it with a broom and brush it out of the house. Who remembers who said you can't do that? The Taz said when something is emistik chametz, that's the biggest raya, not like you're saying. The Taz was talking about chametz, and the Taz says that's not a graf shalrei, right? Taz says first. Yeah. No, but bleach doesn't make it revolting. Bleach is not revolting. When you see bleach on it, I guarantee you the dog's coming over going, oh, these guys don't know what's going on here, right? Then you see him dead. But Akapane, what? Oh, before, right, no, see what I'm saying, take it, throw it in the garbage before his manisser. Throw it in the garbage, and then what do you need to do? Oh, Elamai, so okay, so you're going to go there, go to the garbage, and then bring the garbage bleach and pour it on by the garbage. Yeah, that's mistama, what you have to do, right? I'm just saying, but it's going to look interesting. Everybody's thinking about the garbage and whatever. What? What? So that I guess, because according to them, you'll be miyached before Shabbos, and you're using it to do bitul kli mechanai and whatever. Anyway, like that. No, I don't understand it. I don't know. Rabbi Goldberg, I'll throw you out also. Okay, I don't know. Like that. I don't know. What? Soap doesn't make it necessarily. Yeah, bleach is a wonderful thing. You can use bleach, right? Bleach is multi-purpose. 1 second. No, I got a shiloh last Friday night. The lady was asking, she was going to the mikveh, she had something on her hand, right? And she wanted to get it off, and whatever. So I told her, bleach. Bleach is something that could be used on child. Maybe I'm wrong. I was thinking that when she asked, is bleach something that's normally commonly used? Well, sorry? No, Maisa, sorry. Someone told me after I was talking to him. I told him, he said to me, he thinks by the mikveh is bleach. He told me he thinks by the mikveh is actually bleach. But anyways, 1 second, Rabbi said, 1 second. So what does the Taz say that the Mishabura brings down? The Taz says you can't take a broom and sweep it out of the house. Why not? Why can't you sweep it out? The tiltum and atzad, it's tzarech the makim, it's ruining the makim. That's not called the tzarech the makim, you're not ruining the makim. It's not ruining the makim, it's not something you're doing for the makim, it's to get rid of the chametz. That we said one second, we said even the Chazon Ish. You don't need the Chazon Ish for that. We said even the Mishnah will agree. That's Mesiaches to the muksa. I want the muksa arois from shtib. I want the muksa out. That's called I'm pushing out the muksa. That's still 2 minutes out the muksa. I don't want the muksa here. I don't need the makim. I don't need the makim. So I don't know. Halacha mice on that one. I don't know. No, Rabbi, I have like 10 of them. No, I'm being too nice to you guys. I have like 10 cases here. Why what? First of all, you can give it to a dog. You give it to a dog, first of all. But anyways, it happens, so what? So I'm saying beforehand, what's the difference, right? The case is, when did everybody throw it out? When did I throw out my chametz, right? At 9:40, whatever, I went to the garbage and threw out the chametz, right? That's what I did. That's right. Okay, that's number one. Another case, sorry? No. Yeah, random outside is also okay. You could take it and throw it in the street, just like, I have neighbors and I want them not to hate me and, whatever. So I took it to the garbage. And that's, okay. Okay, like this. This was a nice case. I mean, it was evil. It's evil. But what's going to be then? We're not going to get to clapping and dancing today. I don't know. All right, let's see if we can move. But what? No, but it's already Tuesday. It gets confusing. No, it feels like it's like Wednesday. I don't know. All right. But so it's like this. There was like an evil bacher. So evil bacher had you have like the good bacher, the one with the halo on his head, and then there's his brother, the evil bacher, right? So good brother came to me to ask me a shayla like this. His question was that he set an alarm to wake up for Zman Kriyas Shema. You make sure that he's going to wake up by Zman Kriyas Shema or whatever, right? And the second one, so that nobody, I think even the third one. Okay, like whatever, right? Rabbeinu Tam, whatever. Right? So he said, so his brother, the evil one, his brother told him he doesn't want to wake up tomorrow for his Zman Kriyas Shema. He's evil, he's whatever, he's wicked. What could you do, right? So he's a Shiva Bacher. No, anyway, so he told me his brother came to him, and he has it on a phone, like an alarm on a phone or whatever. And that's his alarm. So he said to me, his brother came to him and said, you better get it out of the room, right? You better get it out of the room. So he said, okay, the second it goes off, I'll take it and I'll bring it outside and whatever. So he said, no, I don't want to wake up. I'm going to wake up from it, and that's it. And so go sleep in a different room or something, Go sleep, in mommy and Tati's room. They wake up for Krishna. Interesting, clever. Anyways, so he asked me like this. He didn't know that you're allowed to move a phone on Shabbos. What he planned on doing originally was he said he'll just cover it, with begadim or whatever and this and that. But he said, his brother said it's going to go off right away and he's got to get it out of the room. So he asked me, are you allowed to move an alarm on Shabbos? Are you allowed to move a phone on Shabbos? That's what he asked me. So I started telling him, well, it's a Kallus Machtel Yisr and Tzarech the Makim. You need the Makim. That's what I, my first, push it, right? But then I realized the case. What is this? This is a Kallus Machtel Yisr, which you're allowed to move, right? Rabbi Falk, Zeichat Tzadik Levracha, we said in this room in one of the first shurim back in the last Zman, Rabbi Falk said, what's the heter? And Rabbi Falk was a big kula. Rabbi Falk was a very big kula. Okay? Rabbi Falk had a tremendous kula that he said that when Chazal said, Kallus Machtel Yisr is mutter, l'tzarech gufa mekaymai, what does that mean? It's good to be back. No? Is there anything like this in the world? No? Is there anything like this in the ganze Welt that we sit together and talk in Torah? Well, so they had stocks, but chutz from that, right? The Kallus Machtel, it's not talking about Kallus Machtel Yisr. We're back, Rabbi said. This is a murder in the Welt. So Kallus Machtel Yisr is mutter. Rabbi Falk taught us. Tzarech gufa mekaymai is lav dafka. Tzarech gufa mekaymai is a code word for saying Tzarech Shabbos. And that generated a tremendous kula, if you remember. The Falk had kulas that we saw that lav dafka has to be gufa and mekaymai. He was much more liberal in his views because of that, right? Now, he gave us that, let's say the kid, you remember the kid had the pen in the hand, the marker, I think, and he was about to write on the wall. So Rabbi Falk said, no, that's called Tzarech Shabbos. What does it mean? It means Tzarech Mutter. I don't need the makim, and I don't need the pen. And Afal Pikin, he said you could take the pen out of his hand. We weren't sure about that. Rabbi Falk said that's Mutter. Why? Because that's called Tzarech Shabbos. It's for sure, it's tzarech on Shabbos. It's something that I don't want my walls on Shabbos to be written on and whatever. Even that's a chiddush. You could have heard that's not called the tzarech Shabbos, it's the tzarech Tuesday. He said, no, it's going to be on Shabbos too, whatever. Rafal said a very big kula and came out every case that we proved from the Mishnah Berurah maybe not like that. And we proved no, you have to fit into the category of Mekoymai, and therefore we had to, be marchiv the gvul. We had to expand the definition of what's called makim. So makim, we said, is not just I need the place underneath the phone. We gave an example. Makim would be if it's going to ring and wake up people, that's called the whole makim is being ruined and whatever. And that's how we worked last month, if the Olam remembers, which I'm sure you do. Okay. But Lefi Rafalka was a great kula. It was a great kula. So I was thinking, l'chayra, maybe this will be a difference between Rafalka and the way we learned, which I'm saying is mishpur. Maybe not. Maybe everyone should ask. I don't know. According to Rafalka, this evil bacher, he is moving the phone with Soirich Isser, right? Not Soirich Isser of Hilchas Shabbos Isser, right? But he's not moving it for its Soirich Shal Davar Mutter. He wants to sleep and Misman Krishma. So he wants to do something which is not a Tzarech Shabbos. Right? Rabbi Falk, with all his liberal views, is not going to say that this is called the Tzarech Shabbos, right? This is, or is it? I don't know. Maybe somebody extremely liberal come along and say sleep or whatever, right? Sorry? It's a very big shaykh. He has an alarm. He has an alarm that's about to ring at 9:18. I don't know if I just said the right time. Nobody. But Shabbos it's doing an Esser, right? That's what he's claiming, right? Wait. So I just want to say that Stadim. So he's moving Klishim Lachtat Esser. Lefira Falk, Gufa Mekoyma is Lav Dafka. I have to know one thing. Is it Tzarech Shabbos? Is it not Tzarech Shabbos? Is it something that's a Toyelis on Shabbos? God holds that this is not a Toyelis on Shabbos. God holds you're not supposed to be sleeping right now. Okay? One second. Breathe it in. Enjoy it for a minute. Gishmak. Mashenken, if you learned that group, that's Gishmak, right? You seem to know the guy. Which brother were you? But Mashenken, if you learn that Gufa Mekoyma is a lot more B'dafka, no liberality, exactly, Gufay Mekayim, right? So here, it's the Makim is being ruined. Don't be frum, right? Don't be frum on me. The Makim is being, it comes out ironically that I found an Afghan, that's what I was thinking. It's not Muchat, my mother. I'll talk in a minute. I like you guys. But I'm not Muchach, because like the Olam is probably trying to do here. You could hear that way, you could hear that way, both ways you could hear. But maybe you could say that, I don't know, maybe even our pshat doesn't allow for something which isn't a tzarech Shabbos later. You have to work it out. But what do you want to say? So that's tzarech. That's not a positive tzarech. That's a sila. That's not tzarech of the market. No, that's a tzarech of peace. That's tzarech of peace. You're saying that it's a tzarech of peace on Shabbos, that he doesn't make him into pieces or whatever. No, the kid writing on the wall was 3. This guy's 23. You want to say the matzah on Shabbos. You don't write on the wall on Shabbos. Right, but he wants to move. Okay, let's say evil Bacher would ask the Shaila. Let's say evil Bacher would ask the Shaila, can I move the phone? Let's say it like that. Okay, maybe you guys are right. You say maybe you can move it so that he doesn't get into a fight and whatever. Okay, maybe later. I don't know if I'm so whatever, but because I'm not sure. Maybe you have to look at the shurish of what he's doing. He's moving the phone to not get into a fight. Dainu, he's doing an isser. He's doing something which is not a tzarech Shabbos in order. Maybe you have to go that way, but maybe not. Let's say the evil Bacher is asking us a shayla. Am I allowed to move the phone? Now, what do you think? You don't need a shayla? Which brother was he, David? Which one was he? With the funky glasses over here. No, let me hear. No?
You dissect the Shiloh, you look at the situation right here. Phone alarm doesn't mean Kriya Shema. It means it's just rooting making it annoying to be here. Nothing to do with mitzvah, Shema, and everything. I can get up without an alarm. You can have it be annoying.
Okay, but what's the reason? If you have to look at the reason why he's moving the phone.
It's going to be a noisy place.
Rabbi Siegel, this is what we do. If you don't like it, you should run now. But this is it. Now you're stuck here. That's it. What?
Making it a noisy, annoying place. It happens to be a 918. It's right.
What is he doing when he's asking why? What is the objective of the Maisa tilt over here?
Not say
Fine. So then, He's not allowed to be sleeping at 9:18. I was thinking a little bit different about that. I was thinking that right. It might not be misyaches to Krishma as much as we're saying, right? The other brother's obviously not such a big tzaddik also, like 9:18. Also not the biggest tzaddik. Evil Bacher having nights. Yeah, nights. 9, 10, yeah, nights. Okay. I knew you guys would like the Shiloh. But let me get weiter. Oh, I forgot the whole stick. Okay. Now, by side, a few easy ones. Okay, so we had a Maisa on Erev Pesach Shabbos. You know, it's one of those days where everything has to be prepared before. So I remember to take challah on the matzahs, and you got to make the maror and whatever and all the things. You know, is there one thing I forgot was to cut plastic tablecloths. There's one thing I forgot. Right? You know, I forgot to cut plastic tablecloths. For what? No, Seder night we don't use the plastic, so it doesn't matter. What? No, I'm Hungarian. It's not the. But anyways, so we don't. So, but it was for the 2 meals, for the 3 meals. Right? For the 3 meals, we wanted to use plastic, right? So we had the roll. I was like God laughing at me. I felt, you know, everything we spoke about in this room, right? So right away. So my kids right away on the spot. Pelik, you know, when you're not learning the sugya, it's like when it happens, it's so gishma. So my kids said, you know, well, what's the problem? In yeshiva, we do this every week. As he said, mamish. No, wait. Slowly. 1 second. Lo pashu. In yeshiva, we do it every week. Well, we just they couldn't even understand what was going on. I'm looking at the plastic, I'm like, yeah, right? You know, what happened was, it was even worse. One of the kids picked up the plastic and started bringing it to him. What are you doing? Wait, I'll throw you out of the house. Right? Like I did to your brother. I'll throw you out of the house, right? But should know I had to hold back. You guys ate by me on the second day, right? I had to hold back from not saying the story because I needed it. I told the kids before, and nobody say a word. But the plastic, so they told me every Shabbos in the yeshiva, what do? They take the plastic and they roll it to this table, and they roll it to that table, and they roll it to that table. So you see that it's right? No, I think it's the biggest right now like that is that in a regular household, right? It's my wife didn't even know what they were doing, like exactly what they planned on doing. They planned on like using it and then what? You know, the truth is there's a bigger shot there. What are you going to do? And then after you have to take the whole thing, you know, into the garbage, right? Because it's still the chametz, right? But you know, they also had. I see your yeshiva bunker. Yeah, they also explained that there. But anyways, this was mamish the case. We came out that this is muksa. Because it's not a finished kli. Who remembers what sif this was? Simon Shinchas? What sif? Like vav, yad aleph. No, by the machit, yeah, but the shever kli, yeah, but the machit. When you're on the assembly line, this is what we call it. It's on the assembly line. It's not a finished kli. So something that's not a finished kli, we said is muksa. We said it's muksa. The chayr, this is the chayr. That was what came out. The chayr. It's like cutting dice. Now another case. So this was an interesting case. Somebody asked me like this on Pesach. Somebody asked me on Shabbos Pesach, nothing to do with Pesach, but it was on Shabbos Pesach. On Shabbos Pesach, somebody came to me and said that they had all the kids there and everything, right? So they didn't have rooms, so they have in the laundry room. So they have like a bed for a couple of kids inside the laundry room, like on top of the washing machine, in the dryer, the whole stuff, right? So they said like this: there's a child in there who's a leibediker and whatever. And they realized that child has to be sleeping in that room. He's like a 3-year-old or whatever. And they realized this, you know, and they want to know, could they close the door of the washing machine? Right? Because if not, right, if you're sure going in there, right? No shaila. I said, no one wants the problem if he goes in there. Haredi entertainment. Like what's the problem? Because no, they're afraid he's going to break it, right? No, they weren't nervous about him himself being broken, right? It sounded like they're afraid that he's going to break. The washing machine starts going in there and he's going around, and it's going to chap that the thing, you know, because the washing machine gishmak, it goes around, right? So he's going to chap, and he's going to chap that, you can go around, you know, and then it's, then it's going to be too late, right? So, like a ride. So they're afraid he's going to break it. I said, I didn't know I had to for this. No, obviously you could do it with a shinoi, right? But the problem is that it's not something which is like, it's like a high washing machine. So he couldn't like get his, what's he going to do, right? This guy said, I told him, use your head. So he says, no, because he needs it to click. So the only way to click is he has to open. I can't explain. Everybody understand what I'm talking about? It has that like handle. He said it's not going to work. He could like go like that with his. I tell him, why don't you just go like this? He said no, it doesn't work. So I said yeah, no, it was push off in the head for a reason, right? So he said no, it's not going to work because he has to click it into place. He said. Could he do tiltum and atzad? He'll be able to, or could he do, or is he allowed to mamish close it? This is a very evil case, no? It's a kli, shalnach al yeser. A washing machine door, his main function is to do yeser, is to enable the washing machine to work, right? So it's kli shalnach al yeser, which is mutal tzar gufa mekaymai. But here, you're not doing it for the gufa or the mekaymai. You're doing it to protect the washing machine. And she's the davar shel yeser. I couldn't think of a good header on this. What? I think the guy made up the shiloh because he's like a geschmacker, like a shtickle lamden type of guy, you know? I think he was having fun, but it was a great shiloh, no? Everything I told him to do, it's not going to go, you know? So we have to down the shiloh. What? Sorry? No. The room is gewalt fakir. If he lets it go, this room is the best room on earth. It could be with rides and cotton candy. What? No, Rabbi Buki, Chassidish Yingo. Let me take, care. You know what I'm talking about. Right? Yeah. So I was thinking like harama. But I couldn't figure out a aroma. I was going to tell him, like, put a diaper in there that it will smell. No, I need a aroma to put something in there, and then we need to close the door.
Dirty clothes.
What?
Dirty clothes.
What? No, but if it's you don't need it to be closed with the dirty clothing.
Why not?
Why? What, the smell?
He's going to go in there with that dirty clothing.
Yeah, but it's got to be that you're closing the door and it's doing some tayelis, right? Well, I have to put in there something that smells. Dirty clothes. I thought dirty clothing is not going to smell. And first of all, it was erev yontif. They had dust on the laundry. It's not really megay. You had to put like a diaper in. I had to find something that smells like a ferlich. Yeah, chametz with bleach, but who cares? Why do you need to close the door? Right? What? Well, now dangerous.
No longer makes the
What? No, it's a short klish matal yisr. What is the tzarich? The item is a klish matal yisr, right?
You're using it for clothing.
Sorry?
You're using it for storage for clothing. Right? We discussed in Mezuzah.
Yeah, but storage for clothing doesn't require a closed door.
Well, that makes the door buckled.
No. You want to say it's like a pot. You want to say like a cholent pot that at the time when I never thought of that. It's interesting. I never thought of this. To be saying that when you have the cholent in the pot, we said the pot is bottled to the cholent, right? And therefore it becomes a klish malachta, the heter, to the cholent. But I don't know if you say that on a washing machine. Is a washing machine bottled? I don't know. It's bottled to the, no, lav dafka if it's there. That we had a shayla. That's not muchach. What? No, but that's such an interesting shayla. That is that I never thought of this before. Is the washing machine bottled to the clothing? We never said that. The truth is, I have a raya from the Paiskim that discussed the child. They also didn't take on. I hear what you're saying, but they all took on that. Why are you allowed to close the door of the washing machine when there's clothing in there? Because like you're saying now, it smells and whatever, and you're using it to start gufay, right? I'll give you an example. Everybody that talks about a dishwasher, so they all say, why are you allowed to close the door? If you're allowed to close the door of the dishwasher, you're allowed to close the door because you're blocking the plates from getting broken. That's klish matal. You're using to shield or the smell. You're using it as to guard the smell or to guard the plates. So it's a tzarech gufa or it's a tzarech of the makim because you don't want the makim to smell, whatever. Like we spoke about. According to you, I'm not saying it's interesting. I never thought of it before. According to you, it's very simple. Once the plates are inside, so then it's like a cholent inside the pot. It's interesting. We never thought of it. That the cholent is inside the pot. And we said once the cholent is inside the pot, it becomes bottled to the cholent. I can hear on something like a chefts of a machine, which is big and it's, like karka and it's attached to the ground or whatever. So we said, I don't know. No one, the same thing. Nobody said by the oven. Whenever we spoke about the oven, about opening the door, closing the door, we always needed tzarech gufa mekayim. According to you, we don't need tzarech gufa mekayim. And kanira, you have to say, because really the chefza is still, it's an interesting svar, but you have to say it's still attached to the electricity and all the things that make it into a davar shel isser. And they don't look at it as, a pot that's holding the food is tuffle to that because there's nothing else there. We never said a crack pot is tuffle, there was a tzad, maybe I shouldn't say. I don't know. It's interesting, sure. I don't know. We never said that. I don't know. What? But he told me he wasn't able to click it in with his elbow. Not everybody's as athletic as you, Gil Mayer, okay? I don't know what you want from us, okay? You can jump and do backflip. I don't know. He wasn't able to, right? Was? The mouth, you couldn't. There was a clicking in and this. And you guys with all your eights, okay? Not the Karate Kid over here, the way you opened up the window once, you know? What? I explained it to Bookie. Right? This kid was getting up there. The question is if we're going to get him down again, right? He's getting in there. I said, you wouldn't have been able to get there at the age of 3, for sure. Me, now I can't even get into the car, but at the age of 3. Right? Weiter. Oh, I feel bad because now you're going to have to write over all these things. So he's angry. Put pills. And then I was making on pills. So put pills in there. It's a weird case, no? It's not a weird case. Put inside, pills that are dangerous for the child, right? Put in there like the vaccine or something, and then say I have to close the door, right? That's interesting. Would it work? No, let's see. No, it's a cliche. It's Sayrech, and it's Harama. It's Harama Nikaris. You're an anti-Semite. That's Harama Nikaris. No, that's why I said you can't put in a diaper, because that's pretty Harama Nikaris. Not many people are putting diapers inside. You have a new one now, right? You're going to put a diaper inside the washing machine. That's a weird thing to do. No, dirty clothing that smell. I guess what you have to do is you have to have like socks that smell or something and put them in there. And that's not Harama Nikaris. What? Right, so give him a drink while he's toilet training or something, yeah. I hear, but it's getting like a little bit out of control, Okay, weiter. I knew you'd like that Shaila. Another Shaila here is someone found, no, it's done. This one is not a Shaila, it's just that the Olam will like it because someone made a mistake. Someone found a $100 bill, right? The story happened in Chutzars. Somebody found a $100 bill in America, right? He said he was going on Shabbos to get rid of his chametz. He was going to put it outside and whatever. And the mamash with Tziyat D'Shmaya, his mamash said Tziyat D'Shmaya, there was a $100 bill right there. So he told me, what did he do? I heard the story from that. It's a great story, but it has nothing to do with halacha. But he said, what did he do? So he took, are you the evil brother? It's interesting how you knew exactly what he did. He said it was mamash. He felt like, this is the Bizarre Lashon, he felt like HaKadosh Baruch Hu was shining on him because he was doing a mitzvah. So he said, so what is he holding? He's holding a kikar. Like mamish, like the Gemara. So he took the kikar and he put it on the $100 bill, and then he brought it back to his house, right? He brought, the kikar, right? It's unbelievable, right? It's unbelievable, right? And then he brought it back to his house. It was mamish a gevaldig and He said, but then when he got to his house, it was mamish an unbelievable thing. He said when it came into the house, he was holding it. I don't know exactly how you hold a $100 bill with a piece of bread, but he was, right? When he came in to the house, so he said when he got into his house, so the $100 bill, he just like quickly wanted to put it down, and he put it down. He said when he was putting it on the shelf, it fell on the floor. So he said it was mamish like a moifist, like a nace. He said his child ran over, picked up the $100 bill, and now he had tinoik. So he picked up the child. It's unbelievable. I came out, wanted to send out an email of the story, right? So he had tinoik, right? The person's, he's like unfortunately related to me somehow, right? Only through marriage, but so he picked up the tinoik and he put it down, and he put it down. It's mamish every affair in the world. It's unbelievable, right? So we saw Kikar Tinoik works on the mace, the $100 bill. I mean, Franklin is dead, but I don't think, Franklin is dead. Actually, dollar's dead also, maybe. Like that, maybe that's why. What? Wait, let's go in order of the favors. 1 second. So the $100, that who knows where we're makel? Is there any other place we're makel? So maybe a klishan lachli yisr b'makim hefsid. Meruba. Grada, let's say this would be a klishan lachli yisr. I'm not even sure because it's menias revach. It's not hefsid. I'm not sure. Yesh ladin. It's a meniah of a revach. He's not going to gain something. I don't know if that's called where was that heter? In Shin Ches Sif Hey? He davens this person by very chashuv Rav. I told the person, tell your Rav the story and tell him that Rabbi Kallus got a tremendous enough from the story. Just tell him the story. I don't want to, why should it be me? So he says, in Sif Dalet, he says, where is it? Not Sif Dalet. He said Sif. What? Shatzi and Chavdal. No. So he says, no, but say it, but where's it said in the Ramah about the Kikar V'Tinai? Where? See, okay, so where is it? There it is. No, yesh material and tata klish makta yeser. Afilu mechamel etzel al yedei kiker tinoik. You're allowed to take kiker tinoik. Shmuel brings down the whole shaylir. So the chartzi and sivkat and chavdal hechriyo harbe achreinim. That's not the best thing to do. It's finding $100 bill on the floor. Let's say it would be a klishma. It's not true. This whole conversation is narishkeit. But if you find a $100 bill and it would be a klishma yeser, you find a klishma yeser, which was $100 klishma yeser, would you be allowed to pick it up with a kikar v'tinai? It's not hefset meruba. Is it? I don't know. It's a hefset meruba. I don't know. It's a manias revach. Later. I don't know. Later. I don't know. It reminds me of a story. Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld. It was once walking in the street, and Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld was the Adam that was Malumad in Nissim. He was, he was one big nace. So he walked and he found in the street a Napoleon. Napoleon was like a coin that with that coin you could, you could support yourself for a month, and if you were Yosef Chaim for a year. So there was a younger man walking with him, and the younger man told him, but he had seen that it had fallen from like some mufti or mufta or somebody or whatever. So he saw it fell from a guy, and right there. So he told Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld that, and Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld obviously realized that it had fallen from that guy. So he said to Yosef Chaim, but you can make a Kiddush Hashem. Make a big Kiddush Hashem, the Rabbi Shal Yerushalayim, the Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld giving back to the Napoleon, it's a big Kiddush Hashem. So Yosef Chaim thought for a second, he said, yeah. He said, okay, so look what I'll do. I'm going to lend it to you, right? And then after I lend it to you, right? So now, I'm going to take it back, and then I'll give it to him. And now the Kiddush Hashem will be made because I'll be the one giving it, right? And now you owe me a Napoleon. All of a sudden it's not such a Kiddush Hashem, So he said, what's Takib Shat? He said, it's okay. So sometimes when you return an Aved, it's Taka Kiddush Hashem, Taka. But sometimes a person, if he sees that this is the way the Rebbeinu Shalom is being mefarnes him, it's okay. You have to know when. The Rush says this. If a person's in Ani and an Evian, why did I tell you that story? So I'm saying, I don't know, $100. Hefset Meruba, maybe if Yosef Chaim was willing to not make that Kiddush Hashem, maybe it is called a Hefset Meruba to give up $100 or something. Okay, but anyways, so what Avera they do? He put a kikar, a tinoi on the $100. No, it's just a murder gazach. A lot of people sometimes they think like, you see, I got siyata d'shmaya, where it's not like siyata the evil. It's like you push it. He made the biggest mistake in the world, but God is shining on him, or something like that. But so then afterward, when he came into the house, the kid picked up the $100 bill. They picked up the kid. That's the example of the Gemara, right? That's mamish the example of the Gemara. That the kid will drop it on the floor and he'll come to pick it up. Right? That's the example. Shulchan Aruch Siman Shin Tes. Do we have time for one more? What do you say? Because tomorrow we're starting clapping. There's none of this. Okay, there are two more quick cases. There was a bathing suit. This Shabbos, there was a lot of winds. You saw that? It was very windy. Also by you guys? Very windy. You're in New York. It was very windy, right? So there was a bathing suit that the kids had gone swimming right before Shabbos, and there was a bathing suit that was hanging out. Right outside, a couple of bathing suits. It looked like from the wind when we walked into the house from Friday night from shul. It looked like they were about to really be like blown to shulafat. So my son asked me about it. Are we allowed to take them inside? Are we allowed to take them inside? What? So first of all, you got to get involved in one shaila. How wet was it? Is it toifeach amanas latfiach? If it's a tefeis amanas latfiach, what? That's when Shabbos came in. What? I'm sorry? Makbid al meimav. Yeah, so we spoke about that, but I'm not sure if there's a Gezeres Chazal. They were guys on begodim. I don't know if we're able to say on this beged, not this beged. Yeah, when you have a different type of a beged, right? It is a shaila. But anyways, they came home at about 4:00. They came at about 4:00 with all those winds and everything. I think by the time Shkia came, I think Shkia was like at 7:00, right? I think by the time Shkia came, especially with Rabbeinu Tam and this and Yance and everything, I think by the time Shkia came, it was not tefeach as mas tatfiach. That's what I would have thought, right? That's what I would have thought. Okay, but L'maisa, I have a different shaila. What's a bathing suit? I'm not sure. Is it Kishmak Leheta?
6 hours.
What? Oh, so that would be the shaila. L'chayra, it's a klishim malachtai. If it would be a klishim malachtai yisr, then you're saving the bathing suit. That would be chamel itself. I was Mako. like Rabbi Lieberman is saying, because it's a baguette nachal, you wear it for 6 hours. Before you go in the water, half the time you're wearing it, you're not in the water. Half the people wear it, they don't even like going in the water and whatever. So it's hard to say that it's like oy midafka for Isser. That's why. Myself, the only thing was interesting is that there was the little girls' bathing suits there also. The little girl, those ones, I don't know, they don't walk around like that. They just go in the pool like that. That I'm not sure. That one I wasn't so sure about.
You can swim without it.
What?
That's far.
Your mother promised you behave this man. Huh? All the tears and all the trying, I'm not gonna. But no, I'm not sure. What? I'm not sure. One last thing. One's like this one we spoke about. Oh no, this is very good. Somebody asked me like this. He has a key to the safe. He came back from a trip, and he has a safe. He has a safe. He came back Erev Shabbos, and he has a key to the safe. So he went there, to put in the stuff that he had taken with him, and he put it in the safe, and he took the key, and he just left it out. So whatever. Usually he takes the key and he hides it somewhere, whatever. But then he just left out the key. So he wanted to know the key to the safe. Is he allowed to hide the key to the safe? He doesn't like the key to the safe. Is he allowed to hide the key to the safe? What? What's a key to a safe? We never spoke about this. What's a key to a safe? It's that same nudnik, the guy with the what's it called, with the washing machine. He's got too many good shilas. He's also too poor to have a safe. But what does he have in the safe? Like Rabbi Kiva Eger, I asked him, right? Rav Shach Zechrein Levracha, somebody once asked him that he heard that Rav Shach had a copy of Yoina Minsker, of the Yonis Elam, before they had the Yonis Elam. So Shach had a shtickle copy of it, right? So somebody asked him to borrow the copy, So Shach said, okay, but you have to be so careful with it. So Shach came to a place behind like a painting, and there was a safe over there, and over there was all the money people would give Rav Shach to give out. So they moved all the money, and in the back over there, behind Rabbi Kiva Eger, right, was the Yonis Elam. It's like countries, and Rav Shach starts saying you have to be so careful with it because there's nothing in the world. And he started sitting down and reading, and then it was over because Rav Shach just sat down and learned, and he never got it. The person tell the story over, he never got it. Right? So what does he have in there? Say, no, he has money in there, and he has passports in there, books of things. He's lying, but who cares? It's a good shaila, right? That's a geshmak shaila, right? Truman Sadashik also made up his shailas, which I thought. So he said to me, he wants to know could he hide the key? He doesn't want the key around. So what's the key of his safe? This will be like this. It'll be a kli. If you say a safe is something which is to hold iser muksa, that's what it's made for. So then the kli is mishamesh, a dover which holds iser. So she's a kli shemalachta the iser, right? I tried that. 1 minute. She's a kli shemalachta the iser. She's a kli shemalachta the iser, which is mutter only the circle from a kohen, but not to save the safe, which is what. You like use it to scratch your ear or something. Yeah. It has to be a Roman chain, and he cares. So Nussi is asking, Rabbi Samuels is asking, yeah, but what about just say that simple, that she has jewelry in the safe, right? So right away, I'm telling you, he made up the whole thing. No, her jewelry was stolen. The only jewelry she has, she wears, and that's it. It's a millionaire. It's a millionaire who doesn't have jewelry, whatever. What do you say? You could, but you don't. Why is your mother not a bus? You want to start this month like that? Why is your mother not a bus? She has wheels? What? It's not a cupboard. It's a cupboard that you were miyached for only muksa things. Really? You think so? I'll think now that I never put in there ever anything else. But this might be totally in that Biur Halacha. The Biur Halacha says that, no, in Shin Ches and Sif Dal, what was that one where he said, where's that Lashon? The Klisha Roiv Malachta, Gam Ken Beklal Klish Malachta Iser. Lanias Daiti Anir, there's a Dafkim Ikra, who Rakle Meleches, Rakle Fam Bim Mishtamish Leheter, Avan Derech Lishtamish Lishneim. No, over here it's not derech l'sham. It's very interesting, Shaila. He's saying a safe. The most normal thing in the world to put in a safe is jewelry. It's just punkt you don't have jewelry. You just have millions. Right? What? The safe itself. Well, if the safe itself would hold jewelry in it, so then it would be a basas adavar mutter. Right? Why not? That's a very interesting shot. You have a safe, what? No, this safe you can't move. A lot of those safes you can't move. Let's say the safes are part of the wall even. I'm not afraid of you. Let's say the safes are part of the wall. No, you know what? If the safe is a part of the wall, so then you're locking a cupboard that happens to have Isser in it. Yeah, no, that would not be as bad. The stomach, that would just be locking a door. That would be mishamish, a door, and a door is the mutter. Okay, so let's say the safe is metaltal.
What is the key?
Let's say the safe is metaltal. What? It's a chesaron, it's holding the davar muksa. So he's saying, because who says that, you could use it for davar shal isser. Davar shal isser, it's just as easy. Remember, right now on Erev Shabbos, it was the buses. No. So we're dining on the key. Yeah, no, right. He's right. Ad kama that it's a safe that's holding money. So now Erev Shabbos came in, she's a chesaron kes. The key is a kli whose malacha is to serve a chesaron kes. So she's a kli shemakal yisser, which is not mutter. It's only circle mekayim. It's not necham, not to save. That, yeah, okay, so I'm right. So it's good. Well, I guess, yeah, so we're good. Yeah, so it is a problem. I guess I'll be telling you that, if the safe is movable or not. That's 1 minute, there was one more shayla. Nobody move, 1 minute. I'll tell you when you can move. 1 second. Yeah, we have to start on time. You tell the tender, Rabbi Engelstein, you got to tell the tender, no games. Tell them forget the train and all that. No games. We have to start on time, no games. You saw the email, 3:35 is mincha. What? 3:33. 3:33 is mincha, especially on a tachanan day. 3:33. The key, if it's a movable type of a thing. So if, like he's saying, there's jewelry in there, we could talk. But if there's no jewelry in there,
even if sometimes you do.
What? Well, this Shabbos, it was taka, it had the money in it and all that. This we spoke about, nobody move. 1 minute, this we spoke about, the big things. One last one. I'll even put away the paper so you believe me, right? Last one. Somebody made a kiddush. Somebody made a shalom zachar. Shalom zachar. How do you make a shalom zachar on Pesach? How do you make a shalom zachar on Pesach, right? What? Your brother. So how do you make a shalom zachar on Pesach? Like dates and almonds, you had that already at the Siyum on Erev Pesach. How do you do it? So I'll tell you what he did. Not potato latkes. No, he made just one big, massive potato kugel, right? He made a massive potato kugel. He put out a massive tray, and he made one big, massive potato kugel. Right? And I came in very late. I've been to a different one that only gave out almonds and whatever, right? And he gave, the last piece is for you. I told him I don't mish and whatever. I also don't hold it as kashrus during the year, but whatever. So he told him, he said, the last piece of potato kugel is for you. And he takes the last piece of potato kugel and he puts it right in front of me. I'm ve'eda, and I tell him I'm gluten-free, I'm allergic to gluten or whatever, okay, whatever. That was my problem, not your problem. Anyways, then I was mamish the last person at the Shalom Zachar, and then I see that he's taking off the tray from there was a tray on the hot plate. He made this crazy potato kugel, right? And he was taking my piece off, and then he took off the tray. When I was leaving already, he started to clean up, and he was taking the tray off of the hot plate, right? I started thinking, it could be just in Navera. Why is he taking off the tray, a potato kugel? What's a potato kugel tray, right? We spoke last month if a pot is a kli shemachal yetzer. Okay, the place can say it's a kli shemachal yetzer. I had it said that it's not because he served from it and this that. Here, it's a bona fide kli shemachal yetzer, even according to me. Right, a frying pan. We said it's only used for cooking. Right, you don't serve in a frying pan. You don't. Here, what is it? It's like one of those. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. Like those massive potato kugel. Right, it's commercial. It's very big. You basically bake on it and then you keep it to warm up and whatever. You bake the potato kugel and then you keep it hot. Whatever. It's one big frying pan. So just a moment. No, you don't serve. You don't serve from it. You take it off from it, but you don't serve from it. It's you cook. A frying pan is kli shemachal yetzer. Nobody argues on that. That's not my chiddush, right? I'm just saying this is one big frying pan, right? So I told him, "What are you moving that for?" He says, "Mata, what do you think, Harav? Zayarosli. It's going to destroy the hot plate. It'll destroy the hot plate will destroy the frying pan. There's nothing in it." He told me it would. But kugel better than him. So then prove it. There better be a kugel here on Thursday. Yeah, prove it, right? One of you guys on TV is paying for it. Okay, don't worry, we're getting the kugel. 1 second. I'm gonna. So, but this is what he told me. Let's say it's true. Again, all my cases today, I don't care if they're true or not true. The lumpus is there. He told me he's removing the tray to save the tray's life. He's an anti-Semite. right? No, he's anti-Semite, right? I'm saying, that's a great case. That's kli shemalach iser l'tzoyrech chamal itzel, right? It's a mitzvah to kill him, no? Okay, it's is a thing, but I'm saying.
Is still a drop of kula.
What?
Is still a drop.
That's Rabbi Batal. I don't know. Then every frying pan, you could say that. But every frying pan say that on.
If there's food, if there was food.
It's got to be something that you're misyaches to. If there be one piece, we could talk. But if not, that was then when we were trying to determine if it has become a noila, to become a different chefza. Here, we're trying to determine, is it bottled to that? You're not going to say that a frying, this massive tray is bottled to some schmutzig that does. Okay, you're all free to go. Tomorrow, no games. Start, Rabbi will go bring you the marmakayim and Hashem, I think now. Get to work, whoever needs a chavrusa, come to me, clapping, dancing on Shabbos, and then maybe, some other stuff. Okay. You guys are all back? Derech Agav, the shear was 1 hour, but I gave